Hey, we're back again for our second week of partnered teaching this semester. And tonight we have a little series set for you. Last time we taught the skater pose and some variations of that. And tonight we're going to teach you another kind of cool move for partners.
Yeah, I think what we did last time was we started off with a move, the skater pose was in this cross hands position. Today we're going to try to teach something a little different, where instead of the normal lead left hand, partner right hand, we're going to do the opposite hand. So we're going to try lead right hand, follow left hand pose.
How would you get into this?
Well, to get into that pose, you'd have to switch your hand at some point. So if we could normally do a normal right side pass, I may let go and then try to find my follower's hand.
Okay.
And oftentimes, or every now and then, I find that a follower is not used to having this hand out. And so you may have to try to grab it or really signal to them at some point that you want that hand.
Well, yeah, you can offer, but also it's a good habit for followers to get into is that this hand shouldn't be by your side and it shouldn't be up here. So on a pass, I'm gonna watch both my hands. Both hands are out, right? So it's there, and I was not watching him, but I saw his hand out and could have come right into it. If that hand is unavailable and he's grabbing for it, that's gonna make for a weird moment. So
why don't we illustrate how that might be?
Okay.
5, 6. So I'm going to look for my partner's left hand. It's not there. Okay, then I have to go back to the hand, right? So, so sometimes it won't be there because it's not as common of a hand hold as the normal hand hold.
Right. So we may not be expecting it, and actually we should just assume that we never know what's going to happen next. So on any kind of turn where I can, if it's some kind of open turn, I'm going to have both my hands out. Maybe not this big, but they're going to be both available. And what's really helpful is to watch the lead's eyes because they're going to be watching their hand and my hand, and it'll be very obvious that he's looking at this hand versus this hand. So if you just have them kind of both out, he's going to be looking right at it and I'll place it in there. If he's looking off, I'm not going to have any clues, but there are these kind of nonverbal cues that are happening.
And if you really have to get to this hand position, one thing you can do is really in the past, if you try to have your hand slide down the arm a little bit, so then you have the hand right there.
That's really nice. Let's do that one more time.
That's a little bit of a cue beforehand.
Maybe the other side so they can see it again. Or was it?
That's right.
Yeah.
5, 6, 7. So I'm going to put my hand on the elbow basically and then slide it down.
Now he couldn't do that. He couldn't do that if my hand wasn't up already, right?
Yeah,
so let's watch it again. If my hand was up, if it wasn't up, it'd be felt tipped.
So I'm going to try to find the elbow. It's not there. It's still probably, but that.
It's not smooth. And then I'm like, oh, there's something happening.
I feel like it's not as ideal because I feel like it's really forcing my will on the follow.
Yeah. Versus me being like, hey, I'm available for whatever you've got planned next, and I'm adaptable. So that's okay. So now we know how to get into it.
So the first thing we're going to try is once we're in the position, we're going to just do a normal, we're going to do like a right side pass, and I'm going to lead my follow with a slight round rock step. So 5, 6. So the rock step is going to be, both our bodies are turning.
And we did round rock steps last week, but it was just with the opposite hand.
That's right. So I'm going to lead my follow with a slight round rock step. Let's do the move, and then we'll show the round rock step again. 5, 6, 7. Let's do a rock step, 6 count, triple step. So let's do it from this side. 5, 6, 7. Rock, step, triple step, triple step. And so the basic execution there is like a normal right side pass or normal free pass. So we're doing the round rock step. And if we do that, I'm letting go of this hand, letting go, and moving around my follow. And so it's important you can see that our shoulders are trying to become parallel. I'm getting out of my follow's way.
Step. Yeah.
That's a bit exaggerated, but I'm getting out of my follow's way so they can come straight down my line. Maybe we can do it right at the camera.
And you don't want to be too exaggerated because then I lose that hand's being offered because it just looks like you're doing kind of some like fancy.
Let's do it down the line if you can down the line of the camera. 5, 6, 7. Rock, step, triple step, triple step. So that's the basic pass you want to learn in this case. And so it's again to the lead's right side, so right side pass. So rock, step, triple step, triple step. And you can reconnect with either hand, any hand hold. The one hand hold we just taught, you can cross hands or the sort of regular hand hold in this case. These are 3 natural things you might do.
As long as they're both available and the lead is making a decision early enough.
That's right, yeah. So let's show it one more time, sort of right side pass, 5, 6, 7, round rock step, triple step, triple step. And so that time it feels nice and natural for me to reconnect with our sort of regular hand hold, lead left hand, follow the right hand hold. So that's just sort of a 6 count move that let's try to see how you might integrate that.
For our class, are you going to catch it with the left hand or catch it with the right? Which hand are you catching in mind for this one on this pass?
So I'm going to practice catching with my right hand. So let's try it again. So let's do a normal right side pass. My left hand follows right hand. I'm going to switch the hand to get this other hand after this move. And then I'm going to do the pass we just taught. 5, 6, 7. So no more right side pass. I'm going to switch hands and then do the pass we just taught. I'm going to recapture this hand.
Okay.
So that's something you might do. So you can do a normal right side pass.
That's a good way to get into this.
Yeah, switch the hands. Yeah, it's a natural way.
All right, so now we're here. So what would be so the right side pass is just a warm up. So now we're going to show you the actual move we're learning tonight.
Yeah. So what we're going to try to teach you now is what we just taught was the 6 count move, right? So let's illustrate it one last time. 5, 6, 7. We just taught the 6 count move. True. Then we're going to reconnect, and now we're going to do an 8 count move. So it has this nice send back and then stretch motion. So what it's going to be 8 count move. And the basic steps will be, again, you're going to lead a slight round rock step. So rock, step, triple step. And then now what's going to happen is that
first triple step. So then so I don't know if a triple step's coming or a step, right? I don't know if this is 6 or 8 count. I just know I'm doing my first step. But what's happening is by the time I've done my triple step.
That's right. So now what the lead has to do is a forward rock step on the right foot. It's going to be rock, step.
Now, wait, let's just stop there for a second, because that's a good place. So this is important because that rock step creates a stretch. So I can't even triple step in place. So it actually makes this really cool stretch as we go 5, 6, woo, woo, and it's propelling me that way. But so it looks cool, but it also is useful because it's interrupting. If I thought I was going to do a triple step, if I'm not familiar with this move, it's almost impossible to do a triple step. And in fact, you guys can try to do a triple step, and you'll see it's really awkward. And this shift in the direction interrupts that triple step in a really successful way to make this stretch happen, but also change the direction and let us know that it's an 8 count move instead of a 6 count move.
Yeah, oftentimes it's not obvious to follow whether it's 6 or 8, and so we really as leads have to work on finding a way to nicely interrupt that second triple step to make them do a step-step motion.
So let's just try that stretch again one more time. Come this way, I think the camera.
So the first 4 counts will be just a round rock, step, triple
3 and
step.
4, and then I'm gonna still be going back, right? This next step, I don't know what's gonna be happening. So even if I know this move, I'm gonna be going that way. It's my responsibility to follow, to continue in the direction he's asked me until he's given me a momentum change. So on this, we just did 3 and 4. So on 5, I'm going back and he's going forward. And then I say, oh, so mine's 5. What's your 5?
So my 5 is a forward rock step on my right foot.
And then 6.
Yeah, so let's work this out because it's important for the hand motion here. So when I'm creating this stretch, I'm not pulling my follow with me.
Yes,
I'm not
very
clenching
important.
I'm letting my tricep be really elastic, and I'm thinking about keeping my hand in roughly the same spot and stepping away from the rock step, a slight back, but our hands are roughly in the same spot, and we're both stepping away from them.
And there's some pull there. If we let go of each other, I would go back and he would go forward.
Right.
So it's not like a limp arm for either of us. It's it's a real stretch happening here.
But what I'm not doing is I'm not going stretch and pulling this and clenching my bicep. I'm letting my tricep extend like you would do a tricep extension, and that's kind of going out, so it's doing the rock step.
And the stretch is not that's the thing. You don't want to manufacture the stretch from the arm pull is what he's saying.
Right. The stretch should be coming from the fact that when I lead the follow behind me, they should still be going that direction. So I'm sending my follow with some momentum this direction, and then I can do my rock step forward, and that will naturally generate the stretch. 5, 6, 7, rock step, triple step, rock step, triple step.
And so what that means is if you as a lead feel like you're not getting the stretch, follows, make sure, like I said, you're not decelerating as you go past them, because you're like, what's happening? They haven't asked you anything yet. So don't decelerate, because then he'll have to manufacture this, or he'll be tempted to manufacture the stretch in a way that's not going to be authentic, or readable for the follow.
And it's often hard to make it the follow's fault. So as a lead,
let me try to
as a lead, what you can do is that when you do the lead the round rock step, this hand now is loose, right? I'm not giving any signal at all until they go past me. And the next signal I'm giving is on this rock step. So basically, I'm not giving them any signal to slow down. I'm saying rock, step, relax, stretch. So this whole time when it's up in the air, it's completely relaxed. We can let go of the hands, basically.
So it's really just 2 stretches, because a rock step is a stretch too. So it's really
5, 6, 7.
Stretch,
release.
Relax. Stretch, relax.
Yeah. Stretch, relax. Stretch, relax.
So So
It's-
1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7.
Why don't we show this toward the camera and away from the camera, that way they get some other angle.
Okay.
5, 6, 7, rock, step, triple step, front step, rock, step, triple step, front. And so as a lead, it's also important to make sure this elbow is not anywhere near the follow's face or head, because that can happen easily. And so basically, when I'm doing this round rock step, I'm immediately lifting my arm up in this way so they can go underneath it. And I'm relaxing it, so I'm not giving any signal of the hand or anything else. I'm just letting them go with their own weight momentum. And this is the hard one, because this elbow could come right to the face.
So yeah, that's why if you're a lead who tends to, that's what he's saying. This is not relaxing. This is an active bring down
Right.
versus it just falls down naturally. What that does is I'm not going to let my arm fall down naturally until it's over my head. And if this is over my head, his elbow is going to be out of my way. But if you're enthusiastically bringing your arm down, you will hit your follow.
That's right. Yeah, so I would say that I'm thinking about a 5, 6, 7, rocks up, down, whoops.
And this is another reason follows for not decelerating. So like, let's see what happens if I decelerate. Don't really hit me, but.
Okay, so this would be the case set. So leads, if something is going wrong and you think it's the follow's fault, which is probably unlikely, but you can test, making sure they're still keeping their momentum in that direction, because that will be a problem with stretch. 5, 6, 7. So if they decelerate, then there's no stretch. Then you really have to manufacture the stretch as opposed to just letting them go back.
And it didn't feel good
and
to me
stepping
either,
away.
because I ended up being turned around
Cramped,
and like
yeah,
this.
really
You
cramped.
actually were able to get out of the way because you knew to go that way. I couldn't feel that interruption either, so I would have triple stepped
Yeah,
because I
that's
didn't
right.
feel the interruption, because the interruption comes from that stretch. So it's really key that you continue going forward and that you go in your direction as well. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, good. So let's try to move again.
Okay, and we'll
Let's move sure for this side.
sure.
5, 5, 6, 7, 8. Rock, step, triple step, front step, triple step,
And
rock, step, triple step, front step, triple
And
step.
something that's going to make this look really good is a little arm movement here for both the leads and the fall and the free arm. So if we just kind of have it flat, it's not going to look as dynamic, but just a little bit of arm movement can make it look really cool. So we'll demonstrate.
5, 6, 7, rock, step, triple step, rock, step, rock, step, triple, rock. And so what you can do is you can have this arm as a lead come forward to really drag your momentum forward.
Yep.
Triple step, front step.
And the other thing to make sure as a follow is that on this 5, 6, so we're going rock, step, triple step. I'm not stepping. This is going to get me off balance if I'm leaning forward and trying to get my foot as a big step. So the trick here is to really keep your feet underneath you and just travel the momentum. So let's try one more time. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, keep upright.
4, 5, 6.
Even when the arms swing, you can keep upright, right? Woo. So none of this. All upright. And we can make it smaller. You can make it smaller if you wanted to.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
You have to have a tighter arm too. Okay, so what we've taught so far is just doing a normal right side pass with this handhold. 5, 6, 7, 6 count, step, triple step, triple. Then this 8 count move. And now we're going to teach this move coming back to close in this case. And so what we want to do now is that we're going to have this handhold connection. And I'm going to lead the follow again with a slight round rock step.
So this would be after the move we just did.
So maybe let's be clear about what I mean by slight round rock step. So a straight rock step would be turning it straight back. A real big round rock step would be like a bam, like I'm really,
Oh, yeah.
really turning to, I might do this if I was trying to get my partner to turn in place.
Yeah, that's not
And
the only time you
The
would
slight
do
round rock
it.
step, slight round rock step is to give them some indication to turn a little bit further. 5, 6. This is like a little bit of a round rock step. Okay, so the idea here is we're going to invite the partner to come back, and we're going to come back to closed position.
So just a fun way to end it. Because kind of when you're in this perpetual stretch thing, you're kind of like, well, how do I get out of it besides just doing these big stretches over and over again? And this is a nice way to kind of transition into a different position, right, side by side.
Yeah, there's lots of, it's great. There's lots of ways to get out of it, but one nice easy way is to transition to closed position. And so in this case,
Well, side by side.
the idea is that the first half of the move, the lead is essentially the same as that pass we learned. So it's essentially the same as rock, step, triple step. So the last triple step is going to follow the follow backward.
So let's do it this direction, maybe.
Okay. Let me see back to
Is this the right way to do it?
try it. 5, 6, 7. Rock, step, triple step, triple step. So what's happening there, and this is probably a decent angle, is the first rock step is the same, so it's a slight round rock step, triple step. So the key here is that to let the follow know something different is happening, when it gets to be basically 1, 2,
3,
the sort of 3, 3 and point.
Basically, as soon as my back is presented to him.
That's right. As soon as the follow's back is presented,
1,
I'm trying
2,
to touch
3.
the back at this point, not digging in, just get my hand there so I know something's happening, and I don't like wrench my arm across the back. I sort of touch there, so something, and my hand will slightly slide across the back, loosely. And so then the follow knows that something's happening, and they will naturally probably lift their elbow to get in close, or to make an elbow connection.
So should we show that?
Yeah.
Okay.
5, 6, 7. Rock, step, triple step.
And then I want to show for the follows, I think one thing that we tend to do when we're getting kind of wrapped up in closed position is I did this for a long time, was watch my elbow as I try to adjust. Like we do this kind of big over, and I've actually elbowed Taylor in the face a couple times, and that's when I started learning a little bit more about how to avoid punching your lead in the face. And the trick is to actually wait until you're completely in the move. If it's still something where we're adjusting, then it feels like we want to do it as soon as we can, but we actually don't need to. And so if you can actually wait till everything's settled, and then you can just do a quick tuck over. So I'll try to show the difference here.
Which one's this?
I'm going to show the good one, the one that's a little bit smaller.
5, 6, 7. Rock, step, triple step, triple step.
Nice and slow, nice and low, and safe for our partner.
Yeah.
And so that's just something that you can actually do in anytime you're asked to come into some kind of closed or side-by-side position. If you just wait a little bit longer than you might feel comfortable, you won't have to do this big elbow over.
Yeah, because then that's a good point.
So should we do the whole series?
Yeah, let's try to do a series. We're going to do the regular 6-count pass. We're going to do the 8-count stretch move. And then we're going to do the 6-count move back to closed position. So 5, 6, 7.
1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6.
1, 2, 3, and 4. 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And so as a lead on that last move, normally if I was doing a pass, I would be triple step forward and off the line. But in this case, since I'm coming back to closed position, this is fine. I'm going to basically triple step in place and then triple step backward.
He's going to match my momentum. I'm not going to be slowing down. He's touching my back, but he's not touching my back in a way that is changing my direction or my momentum. So as soon as he touches my back, I don't decelerate. You notice I continue to go, and it's his job to catch up on that second triple step.
I'm really trying to match for a normal thing, I'm trying to match momentum with my partner. Rock step.
Keep
match
going,
momentum.
keep
So then we can get a big rock step and do whatever you want from there.
And it looks more fun than if we just kind of stopped, right? So if we just kind of stopped momentum.
I could try to stop them.
We don't have to stop, just
We could do that, which is kind of
for like
really awkward.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying me just decelerating would just kind of leave it flat in place. We really want to be continuously moving. So
because that allows you to, after the end of that 6-count, get a nice rock step to send you to the next move, where it's to really transfer momentum nicely.
Okay, so I think maybe we'll just do this series of moves a few times together with some music, and then of course if you have any questions, our office hours are Thursday night at 8:30.
Yeah.
So we'll see you on Zoom.
And we'll also maybe show a few other ways, modifications of this, that if you want to learn, you can definitely come to office hours as well.